Welcome back to the Live Your Best Life podcast, where we explore the people, experiences, and philosophies shaping success and meaning in today's world. Today, I'm joined by Sal Badalamenti as we talk about his time at the TSA, the transition into retirement, and how family continues to shape this next chapter of life. It's a conversation grounded in experience, perspective, and what matters most. Let's get into it. The fourth quarter is where it all comes together. Today we have Sal Badalamenti with us. Welcome, Sal. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Tim. Hello to you and hello to Enzo.
Yeah,
well, behind the scenes over there. But
he
we got to give a shout out to him, right?
You know what? That's good because I don't think anyone ever gives Enzo the credit he deserves.
No,
so that's
without
good.
Enzo, this wouldn't happen right now.
That is true. That is true. Well, I'm glad you joined us today.
Thank you.
Let's just have a conversation. One of the things I think, with our listeners, they have no idea who Sal is, right? Mm-hmm. And well, a lot of people do know who Sal is. I should rephrase that. However, let them know a little bit. I mean, I know obviously we're married to Fran,
yep,
which your better half couldn't make it here, unfortunately.
Right.
But tell us a little bit about you and your family.
So, a little bit about me. How long is this podcast? No. We're going to do cliff notes here, people, because believe me, you guys will get tired. So I recently retired. It'll be 2 years this year. It goes by fast. I'm married to a beautiful woman named Fran Lucido. She's now Badalamenti. 37 years of marriage. And of that 37 years, we're blessed with 3 beautiful kids. They're all married. And we had them in a short span. So they're like, I have 2 the same age for like a couple of weeks. So I guess they call that Irish twins.
Yep.
I don't know what we call it in Italian, but whatever. They're here and they're beautiful. So it's great. I wouldn't take them back. But I have 3. They're all married, beautiful spouses. And with that, we have 8 grandchildren. One recent one, my daughter just had her 4th child, Francesco Antonino Monaco. And then
that was number 8?
Number 8. And my son, Nino, and Helena, they're going to have their 2nd child in July and August. And my son, Sal, he's got 3 kids.
So we got 9 on the way.
9 on the way. And just a footnote, not that anybody cares, but I guess I do. I have 6 Sals in my family. So I'm very, very proud and blessed of my kids. And very tradition. I was raised, both my wife and I were raised with traditional values, and we've been able to impress upon it into our kids. And we're really strong with family beliefs and values. So, yeah.
Obviously, we had a chance to meet your family, and you got a beautiful family.
Thank you.
And seeing the grandkids at our experience at the zoo was fun. So I know family means a lot to both you and Fran.
Yes.
And you guys are very close with your kids and even get together, I know, used to at least once a week.
Yeah, so we tried, and for the longest time we've had a once-a-week schedule, but now the grandkids are getting older. Yeah. Who's involved in dance and all the different sports, and then school, because they now go to school. So it's a little bit different. So we try, like we're all going to get together this Saturday. So that'll be nice, but we try to, and we don't all get together as a family, then throughout the week we'll see each other individually type of thing. But
that's nice.
One thing for sure is we started this about 10 years ago when my daughter first got married, and we started just sending out a family text saying, hey, family night, family night. Then after a while, my wife and I kind of stopped sending the text to see just what they would do. And then all of a sudden we would get responses early in the week like, hey, are we not getting together this week? When's family night? And I figured, wow, this thing took. So it's nice.
You know, you did something right.
Right. And then now I go to find out, too, that there are times that they all get together and they don't invite us. Can you imagine? But I mean, I guess as long as they all stay together. But I know, and I get it. So I'm good with it, I guess. But
and of course you want to be included, but to have that tradition go on where something you started and now, because right, if we look at it like Caitlin and Devin, they're so different. One of my worries is, are they going to stay close like me and my sisters are after I'm gone? Mm-hmm. And here you had a chance to see that where they're getting together. You might not have been there, but they're still getting together. It's got to mean a lot to you.
It does, but I'm still here though, Tim. And I tell them, I go, you can still invite, I'll hear that we all got together and they're like, oh yeah, it's good. You guys have fun. We had a riot. It's like, good. we did nothing. We were home, but no, that's good. And yeah, thanks for the invite. But no, they're good. And as long as they all stay together, and I know they love us and they're, hopefully God willing, they'll take care of us, but it's all good.
Well, we appreciate you talking about your family.
No, thank you.
I want to talk a little bit about business because you were in some interesting, you had some interesting careers, automotive business, airlines, ended up working for TSA in a leadership role. And one of the things is like in that TSA leadership role, kind of like what prepared you for that?
I think what prepared me for that, you had great questions, by the way. What prepared me for that was just my whole, my life experience and then who I am, I guess. If you were to ask me that I would finish my working career as director of, for all 17 airports, director of operations for TSA for 17 airports in the state of Michigan, I would have thought you lost your mind. I'm going to be the director? And they're like, yeah. But there I was living the dream for 20 years. And I think what helped me with that was my drive, my willingness to go out of the box, step out of the box, and to do the things that other people didn't want to do, right? With the jobs, the details, the duties that no one wanted to do, I just did them. They had to get done, right? And my work ethic. And I have a passion for people, I have a passion for trying to make things better. And I just think all of that and my work experience kind of really aligned me up with the government because I had 20 years experience with the airlines. And I sat in a lot of different seats in the airlines, which was nice and was a great experience and very, very blessed to have had that. And I saw the world. So that kind of led me into the government for 20 years. And when I landed there, I realized, wow, this is a job. I thought I had a job. Yeah. I had fun at that other place. I mean, not that I didn't have fun with the government, but the government is what the government is, right? It's a job. It's a lot of responsibility, a lot of egos, a lot of everything, right? But I think that what my whole background and in who I am as an individual kind of set me up for that.
And how different is that from the public sector to the private sector?
Oh, it's unbelievable. No, it's unbelievable.
A lot of behind the scenes, I'm sure.
A lot of behind the scenes, a lot. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about people. And then you really learn a lot about where people's values are. Yeah. Especially as you progress in life and you take on more challenging roles. There's extra money involved, but sometimes you got to make a choice in life. Are you going after money or are you going after some kind of life, right? And speaking open and honest here, I think in the beginning, like anybody else with 3 kids, raising kids and what have you, I was going for money. I needed to make as much as I needed, right? But as I was going that route, I figured, all right, that's happening, but I wasn't really happy with that. So a little course of direction change, and then I started focusing on what makes me happy. And I think that if whatever makes me happy and where I go that route, then everything else in my life would fall into place. And it did. Those are blessings from God.
If you follow your heart and you're doing something that's meaningful, everything else will come. The money will come.
It does. But I think we're wired, Tim, especially as a man, and I know on the world we're in now, everything's equal, so I get it. But in my world, we were raised that we were the breadwinners. We had to raise our kids. We had to get out there and make it happen and do what we had to do, which we did. So that's why you went after that dollar, and it didn't matter what you think or how you felt. Just get out there, and this is what you got to do. And we did it. But at some point along the way, I had this this aha moment where it's like, what do you want to do here, Sal? What is it? You're involved in the government now. You have an opportunity to go this way or that way. And I'm a faith man, so a lot of prayers to God, and God led me to where I'm at today, and I'm blessed. I owe it all to Him, man.
Absolutely. Now, leadership, what does that mean? I mean, you were in charge of 17?
Yeah.
Wow. So that's pretty impressive. I can imagine came a lot of stress, or?
Yes. So whenever anything happened at the airport, it wasn't very long before I would get a call from Washington, like as to the whys, what's, when, and what am I going to do about it type of thing. So I just chose early in my life, and I learned that from experience, to surround myself with people smarter than me, people who really know this, right? So I never wanted to make it about me because I quite honestly didn't know. But I surrounded with people around me who did know, and I learned from them. And together as a team, we all kind of went together. So whenever there was stuff that happens, it was easy. I had 2 great deputies who kind of really helped me, and I helped them progress in their careers as well. But it's it's amazing the experiences and what you went through and what you learned. And a lot of the stuff you can't really talk about.
Sure.
Now that I guess I'm not there, it could be an open book, I guess. But yeah, that's just behind me now. But it's interesting. And traveling to the different airports, I managed the Detroit Metropolitan Airport. That's got over 700 flights a day, just in and out of that airport, up into areas, small airports like up in Marquette. I took a drive up there, and that's, if anyone's gone to Marquette, it's a beautiful area, but what you got to do to get from here to there, that's unbelievable. That in itself is a whole different podcast. Yeah. But I learned a lot, and you learn a lot about people and learn about people's cultures and values and the different sides of the airports too. So
yeah, well, I mean, it's a sign of a good leader when you start saying, surrounding myself with people that are better than me or smarter than me. I mean, if you listen to any, successful business owner, that's what they all say. I have to find someone who's smarter than me or better than me at that. And that's what's going to propel the company forward. So it is a good sign of a good leader, that you're thinking that way.
Well, thank you. And I think with that, as much as they helped me advance, I want to believe in my head and my heart that I helped them at some point. Because, together, I don't have it all, together. I'm not that Crayola box with 52 crayons in it. But you put me with my staff, you put me with some good people, man, I'm the 64 box of crayons with the sharpener on it too. You know what I mean? Yeah. So at that point, then you really felt good. You felt confident about what you did in each and every day.
So ending your career at TSA, a lot of people think of TSA as just those long lines at the airport. Tell us, the listeners, what TSA does on a regular basis and why TSA actually exists.
So we exist because of stuff that's happened in the world, right? So if everybody remembers the underwear bomber years ago that happened on a flight, which that flight ended up coming to Detroit on Christmas Day. So it was a Christmas Day that kind of...
That's right.
I'll never forget, right? Or my family. But anyways, because of what happens in the world, we react to it and we have to tighten and we have to go back to the drawing board and sharpen our skills as to the number of passengers that we screen. So TSA basically is we screen all the passengers and you want to make sure that... the biggest myth too about TSA is people think that we're looking for drugs, we're looking for money. That's a bonus. If we find it, we'll call CBP downstairs and they'll come up and they'll take care of that. We look for stuff that is going to bring down or cause harm to a plane, right? You don't want that to happen. So our focus is on that. We're not armed, right? We don't, another big misconception is the strip search, I think, where people thought there was all those. Believe me when I tell you, where's the camera? They don't want to do that. They don't want to touch people if they have to. They got to do what they got to do. And if there's an alarm or if there's something that needs to be resolved, it's got to be resolved. Now, sometimes we get, and if it gets to the point where they've got to do extra security measures, they will call in law enforcement. So it's never like what you'd hear on TV type of thing, They're strictly there to protect us. And it's amazing the number of weapons that are found each and every day and each and every year. In fact, Channel 4 does a great news story right before the holidays of the number of weapons that TSA has confiscated. And Tim, honestly, you would think in this day and age, if no one's heard about TSA and no one's heard that you can't bring a gun, you can't bring a knife.
Isn't it crazy?
It's nothing. When people show up, I used to go, when they would find, there would be incidents, I'd be out the airport and I would actually go to it. And I just wanted to tell the person, were you living in Iraq?
What were you
been
thinking?
in a coma for 20 years? Did you not, But it's at that point, it's like, don't worry about it here. In about 30 seconds, they're going to come take you away and you're going to be charged federally for something like that. But it's just amazing to this day, the number of incidents that still happen and people still try to get away with.
Yeah. Were you working with the federal government during 9/11?
Yes, I was. No, I wasn't. It was with the airlines. In fact, that's how I got my job. Really? So I was working with Northwest, which is now Delta.
Yep.
And the minute 9/11 happened, they furloughed. I was a manager at the time, passenger service manager. So they furloughed a lot of the first level management because no planes were flying. So here I found myself, no job, beautiful home out in Shelby Township, 3 kids going to school type of thing, and just raising my family and no job. And TSA kind of started overnight. Well, being that I was at the airport, I heard grumblings of the government and people would come up to me saying, Sal, you should apply. And I was like, you guys, I'm not a government person. I don't look like those people. I mean, they do this, they do that. Yeah. My beliefs are a little bit different. And they says, why don't you just go for the interview? So I did. And I ended up getting a job as a manager. I took it because I need it. I needed it. And then from that point on, I was a first level manager, and I just, from that point on, started to get my feet wet, started to know the layers, the lay of the land, if you will. And being that I worked at the airport, I knew the facility, I knew the logistics. So that kind of really helped me and really shaped me. So what I brought to the table was my airline background and how the airlines worked, and especially with delays, cancellations, and weather. So I brought something to the table because I was up against colonels and people that had these big military or chief police, people that came from different aspects of the military and law enforcement. And then there's Sal, who came in from Northwest.
But you came in with a different background.
I did. And it took a while for them to take me a little bit serious, but I did it. And I think that's what helped me.
Yeah. Well, and I know we here at Swag believe in like extreme ownership. And if you ever had a chance to read the book by Jocko, who was one of the Navy SEALs, I believe he was at the time. And we believe in that not only with us as like business owners, me and Julie, but same with our team. We want them to take extreme ownership of their roles, right? And I would imagine dealing with the federal government and the bureaucracy, it makes it a little bit hard there, where a lot of people would probably pass the buck. But I know that's something that you probably don't stand for. It is, let's own our roles here and let's deal with it.
That's how I was raised, Tim. And one thing that was hard is whenever there was an incident, because you have so many different agencies that would show up. You would have TSA, we're the Department of Homeland Security. You have CBP, you have FBI, you have law enforcement. And this person basically is the highest ranking official on site is who's going to take charge. So that's where the Eagles, and I had mentioned
Are they all
that
on
earlier.
site at the airport for the most part?
For the most part, yeah. And the rest are not that far.
Okay.
But it was just interesting because I thought in my role when I'd get to someplace, like, okay, this is what we got to do. And all of a sudden someone come in and says, okay, wait, who are you? What do you do? It's like, okay, I outrank you, so you step to the side. So for a little bit, I got a little butthurt, if you will, just because I just thought, well, wait, I know this. But it took me a minute to really understand the roles of everybody and to just not make it about myself. And if they're going to take the lead, take the lead. Yeah. I know at some point they're going to rely on me for information or intel that I can be able to support them on. So that's what I did. But I guess it's part of growing up too.
Yeah. How about, because being the leader in your position, was there a lesson, like a hard lesson you learned as in a leadership position that helped you in your career?
Yes, it really.
Was it a lot of trial and error? Or?
A lot of trial and error, to be honest with you. A lot of trial and error. But I think for me, what put me on the map, if you will, or started being taken seriously, was when we hosted Super Bowl many years ago. And my boss came to me. I was a deputy, I think, at that point, and said, we're going to give you this project. It's like, okay, what is it? He goes, Super Bowl's coming. It's like, yeah, it'll be here in February. Yep. And this was like September, October timeframe. He goes, so you got it. I go, what do you mean I got it? They go, you run it. What do you mean I run it? He goes, you set it up. I mean, you got the security. You've got airports, surrounding airports that can help you. You got Lansing, Flint, Saginaw. You got Toledo. You got Cleveland. We can bus people in. And I'm writing all this stuff down because I had no idea. He goes, so just figure it out. He goes, there's a schedule. NFL is going to start having meetings. You're going to start attending them. And then you're going to kind of see what kind of audience you're going to have. Tim, we're talking to not only just the public sector, but then you had the private planes. You had you had the stars that showed up, right? So I thought, this guy is nuts if he thinks I'm going to be able to do this, right? I started going to the meetings. I went to the first NFL meeting, which was held downtown. And I was at the Fox Theater and introduced myself, and I'm sitting at this table, and there's people from NFL, people from law enforcement, people from all over, and with all kinds of ideas. And then there's Sal, who's going to make sure that we're secured that day. Are you kidding me? You talk about a butt pucker?
Yeah.
For 4 months, I had one. That's when I didn't see a doctor. Anyways, I took a deep breath. I went back to my boss and said, okay, you got the wrong. I don't know. I mean, it's not like I doubt myself, but and he goes,
it's a big task.
Yeah, he goes, don't worry about it. He goes, you're not going to fail. He goes, but you're going to take the lead, and whatever support you need from me, you will tell me, because he goes, you're not going to fail. You're not going to fail me because you fail, I fail. And then we got to talk to the president. So it was like, oh my God, you talk about pressure. But I learned, and it was such a great experience at the day of the football game. I mean, it was one point in the meetings that we went to, because it started like in September. So I would say by October, November, I really started feeling good. I really felt like, okay, I can do this. I got this. And I had screeners come in, employees come in from like Cleveland, from Lansing, from Flint, from Saginaw. We bust them in. To make a long story short here, that day we ended up processing about, I want to say 72,000 people that day. And the longest wait time was, I want to say no more than 7 minutes.
Wow.
I had every lane open. I had people during that game. I didn't even watch it. And at halftime, I just took off and went to the airport because I figured they're going to start showing up, right?
Sure.
And they did. And I ended up getting to the airport like around 10:30, 11 o'clock. And I was there to the following afternoon, about 4 or 5 o'clock. And I'll never forget, my boss came up to me and said, he grabbed me, put his arms around me, and he thanked me. He goes, "You did it." He goes, "God bless you." He goes, "Now go home and take the next couple of days off." I don't even remember the car ride home. I was like numb for a couple of days. But from that point on, then things in my career started to change. But that was a huge 4 or 5 months of growing just as myself.
Yeah.
Just self-doubt.
That's a big task.
Yeah. And that's one that I've taken into all my interviews that I've had in my life. Since I did that,
Sure.
But, and I think that's really launched me to where I was at. But that was the turning point for me as who I am, as a man, as a person, as a worker, as a father, a son, and everything else.
Well, I'm sure in that leadership role, there's probably, or at times, even throughout your career, there's times where someone might not want to do whatever your suggestion, right? Whatever you're suggesting. So when we're leading, sometimes we have to grab them or bring them along with us. But when you got someone who is not listening to you or maybe not believing in what you're trying to do, how do you lead at that moment?
So I bring them in tighter, bring them in closer, because to your point, and I've had that happen where I have 17 airports and there's stuff that I've been given I have to make sure that we implement. And a lot of times it was met with resistance because a lot of these smaller airports kind of do things how they want. And I get it. Smaller airports, they know more than me because they do this. I don't. I'm from a bigger airport. Got it. But the fact of the matter is it needs to be done, and this is what we need to do and how we need to do it. So I would really make sure that I brought them in closer and got to know them as a person and made sure they knew me as a person, so they knew where I was coming from with this, and to say that, hey, this isn't about me. This is what we collectively need to do. It's like one of my biggest things that I would do when I was confronted with stuff like that is I chose a path of standing side by side. Let's say you and I are right here, right? So whether you agree with me or disagree, if you disagree with me, we put the issue in front of us. So we're both looking at it this way, and then we're going to say, okay, Tim, what do we need to do? What's the best way to do this? Instead of, Tim, I need you to do this. Well, Sal, I don't want to. So we put the problem between us, and we just go back and forth. But I found that if we just stand side to side and put the situation in front of us, it changed. Because
by including them,
exactly,
they felt like they were involved.
They're involved in the process, and they really realized and resonated with them that, okay, it's not about him. He's got a job to do, and I got a job to do, and I have to like it, don't like it, respect it, right? And I would also share my feelings. There are times I had to do stuff that I wasn't a fan of it, but who got to do it? But again, I went with the same theory: put it in front of you versus between you. It just seemed to work for me.
It's interesting. And it is, because it's tough as someone who's leading a company or leading 17 airports. Not all the time is everyone going to agree with you, right?
No.
And just helping them see the bigger picture or the vision of what you're trying to do, which is protect 72,000 people for the Super Bowl, and just getting them to buy in. But as long as they know that you are leading with conviction, you believe in this, and the reason behind it, right? If you don't give people the reason why or the vision why you're trying to do something, it's hard to get them to buy into, to follow you, I guess, to follow you. So, thinking of like the airport and in TSA, and then we'll get off of work stuff. But at the airport, you're always trying to prepare for the what if, that worst case scenario. How do you deal with like uncertainty in life itself? Like, how do you prepare for that, right? We're getting older, right?
Right.
So how do we prepare for uncertainty?
That's another great question. It's hard. I think you have to make peace knowing that
And I say this because I know you're like me. You love life.
Right.
That's why I ask you this.
Thank you. And it's hard because you want to have all the answers. You want to make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's. But there are times in life you're not going to have all the information. You're not going to have all the pieces to the puzzle. You're not going to have a lot of information you need to make that choice or make that decision. So you got to take a deep breath, go with what you know, put your hands in God, in your faith, and ask for direction and ask for His vision and put it into you and just give it up to Him. And to me, that's what's helped me, because life is too hard. And as I get older, it's getting harder. And I think it's getting harder because it's not the way I was raised. Yeah. It's not.
Life is different.
A lot of the stuff is different. And that's when I knew I was ready to retire, because all of a sudden I was like, oh, I don't believe in this. It's like, oh, geez, how can I instill this? And I don't even believe in it. So, and I figured, okay, Sal, maybe it's time for you to take a look at something different. And so I did, and I'm here now living the dream. But to your question and to your point, it's hard because you don't necessarily have all the information you need. So you just, for me, I put it in my faith, take a deep breath, and I believe in myself. And with a clear heart and a clear head, I just execute.
And as a father and a grandfather, you know, thinking about our kids, have we raised them the right way? Right. And we're always worried about them, right? And it's all we could do is raise them the way we think is the best way, and it's up to them to figure things out. You know, we're always going to worry about them. We always want the best for them. Right. But it's just something I think part of being a father, or in your situation, grandfather. I can't say grandfather yet. Yeah. I'm hoping one day, but
you'll get there.
Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon.
It's it's interesting because I've gone to a lot of weddings where people will marry their kids and says, okay, well, good, that one's off my payroll. I say, who are you fooling? Will you kidding me?
Yeah, it's never.
No, when you held that baby in your arms for the first time, and you start to worry about it, you just continue that. Now you worry about their spouse, and then when they bring on kids, you worry about the kids. And so it's a wonder to tell my wife, how the hell do we sleep at night? With all this going on. But I got to go back to God, because He helps me get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, especially with number 9 coming on the way.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Well, and I know you've actually transitioned into retirement, not only spending time with family, but you're doing a lot of giving back. But I think you did that while you were still working too. You got the TSA involved in charity, right?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about that.
So what I would do is, I told you I got a big head. These headsets are falling off. Anyways, so I did, when I had staff, and then I'd go to meetings, and I remember my management staff, they would just complain. Bitch and complain about this isn't right. Well, we can do that all day and all night. It's not going to change things, right? Nope. We just need to humble ourselves. So I just thought, okay, you really want to see bad? I'll show you guys bad. So every year at Christmas time, I would take my management team, and we'd go out and we'd go to this Catfish and Soup Kitchen and just spend up 4 hours there of volunteer. And I made sure they did it. They weren't paid for it. They had to use their vacation time, but they all wanted to do it. Yeah. And at the end of it, the number of people who'd come up to me crying and thanking me and just humbling themselves. It's like, now, when we went back to work, it's like, now, how bad did we have it, people? Yeah. Seriously, right? Well, I did that for a course of years, and then I started taking my kids when they were still in junior high and high school. And I figured, okay, here's another group that really need to see what life is all about. And I took them downtown, kind of did the same thing. Well, that just resonated with me. So when I went into retirement, I figured that's something I wanted to do. And God has blessed me with the beautiful wife, beautiful family, grandkids, kids, my mom, my dog, just my life. And I just figured that there's nothing that I need. And we need health, we need time, right? But I just want to be able to give it back and be able to help people and do something better,
And when you got our group involved, I think wasn't this past year, it was the year before.
Yes.
We had such a great time down there.
It was a good time.
It just puts everything in perspective.
It does.
I mean, when you see the people that are lining up that really have nothing, and just a little bit of time that you could donate to help them out, it means so much to them.
It makes a difference because, what these people, they come and they live on the street. Yeah. They're looking to go get a shower. They're looking to get a meal. They're looking to get some clean clothes. And then when you're done, after your 4 hours, you're going to go back to your car. And depends on what time of the year you went, you're going to put your air conditioning on or your heat. Yeah. You're going to go home to a nice, warm or cool home. You're going to have a meal. You're going to watch TV. Your life is going to go on. And in the meantime, these people that you just spent 4 hours with, they're trying to find a place to sleep that night. So you talk about perspective, and if that doesn't, to me, I think that's better than any kind of shot or vaccine that's out there right now. I mean, if that's just a vaccine of life and just humbleness. And if that doesn't do anything for you, God help you. I don't know where you're at.
That's very humbling.
Yeah.
Now, I know you're doing some other things now, though, right? Because you're staying busy, but you're staying busy by really donating your time.
Yes.
So what do you do now?
So I do a couple things. I kind of spread myself thin, dude. I'm telling you, but I don't really mind it. I mean,
keeps you busy.
I got the energy. Yeah, it keeps, and you got to stay busy in retirement. You got to find something. And here's one thing too. People are like, I don't know what I want to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I raised 3 kids with my wife, and we had 3 kids in 2.5 years. So I never went hunting. I went hunting. Bad experience. Another podcast. I don't really play cards. If I do, I'll probably cheat. But I mean, I never did a lot of stuff outside my family. So here I am on this side where you think, okay, now I'm going to go, watch a game. I'm going to go hunt. I'm going to go do. Oh, I've never done that my entire life. I'm going to go do it now. So, which that's fine. And I would do what I did again. I'd repeat my life the same way. But I found myself volunteering, and there's a lot of people. There's a lot of stuff out there that need volunteers. So what I do is I volunteer. I do Meals on Wheels.
Okay.
And I kind of work independently, and I'm not a driver. I set up, more logistically, I set up all the routes. I have 3 drivers and 3 routes. And what I do is when I get there early and when they bring me the food, I have containers, and I kind of stock the containers with the routes according to who's getting what. And when they show up, I kind of go through it with them that here's your soups, here's your salads, here's your warm, here's your cold, this is what you got. We load it in their car and off they go. So I do that. And that, if it wasn't for the volunteers that do that each and every day, senior citizens and people who can't leave their homes wouldn't get a meal.
Get a meal that day.
Right?
That's Meals on Wheels?
Meals on Wheels.
Okay.
So, and they're always looking for people, and there's different volunteer programs that are out there. So you don't have to do like what I'm doing, but I'm telling you, everything you do, and I always thank them and they thank me, but if it wasn't for the volunteers, these people wouldn't get food. They wouldn't get fed, right? So I do that. And then I also found myself I work at a coffee bar at a hospital at Henry Ford.
That's right. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I do that. That's more fun than anything else. I never thought I would be making cappuccinos and lattes. I never knew how to make those before, but you should see me now, dude. I can whip one up like it's no one's business. But it's more social, more fun, and I get to be me. Yeah. And the biggest problem I have that day is if the cappuccino machine is broken. That's my biggest hurdle. And if it is, I just give them a double coffee and I put some milk and whip it up and off they go. And
I remember when we were downtown packing up meat.
Yeah.
I think it was chicken.
Yes.
And you're like, let's just throw an extra piece of chicken in every single one of these.
Yeah, I'm all for let's just do it. I mean, they can use the chicken. These people can use the extra coffee.
They're going to use it, yeah.
Yeah, so I enjoy it. To me, that's more social than anything else. And then the last thing I do is, one thing I did is I like to take care of myself. So I went ahead and became a fitness instructor. I got certified. There was a course I had to take. I actually passed the test, which I'm glad. And so I teach, I do a circuit training in Clinton Township.
Okay.
And I have anything between my highest class was 18 people, and my average is between 11 and 15. And we do circuit training. And it's great. I got a good playlist of music. It's all 80s and 90s, and they're all like my age or older. But it's nice. It's more just conditioning. We do cardio. We do muscle building, muscle straightening. And it's just enough to just keep people busy, and it's more social too. So whatever I can give to them, they give it back to me by just us spending that 1 hour together.
And how do you find that's working out so far?
Oh, it's working out great.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. I'm learning a lot about like senior citizens. These people have a spunk. These people, that's another podcast, but these people they got energy. They got a lot of energy. So I think that's, sometimes they make me look boring, but so there's that. But I really enjoy it. And I think everybody wants to live. And this is amazing because your LYBL right here, it's all I say when I'm in that is we're going to live our best life today. And I said, the hardest part of your day is over because you showed up today.
Absolutely.
We're going to spend the next hour. And I must say it 2 or 3 times. I figured, man, Tim should be getting some money for this. Or he should be getting, because I'm constantly throwing it in their faces about living your best life, taking care of yourself, and your body will take care of you type of thing.
Yeah. And if we don't stay active, especially as we get older, I mean, that's the number one thing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I love life too much. I just can't imagine sitting still and not enjoying life to the fullest. Like,
and you won't.
No, but it drives me crazy when I see people not doing that, right? And I think that's what really changed for us was we stopped looking at this as this was financial planning. Like to me, there's so much more that we could do for someone. And if we could help them just figure out what their vision for their retirement is and help them live that out, that's more than the rate of return you get. We need the rate of return to back up. I always say a retirement plan isn't spreadsheets and numbers. That's not a retirement plan. A retirement plan is knowing what I want to do. I want to spend time in Florida. I want to take the grandkids on vacation. I want to do this, this, and this. That's your vision. The numbers and the spreadsheets, that just backs up your retirement plan, right? That allows you or ensures you, gives you peace of mind and clarity that you could do those types of
100%.
things. So, when I start thinking about people that are just living, I won't say day by day, because of course that's how life works, but just kind of waiting to take those trips or not really living life to the fullest. It's like, what are you waiting on?
No, and you're right, Tim. And that's a great point because, and then I remember retiring, someone said, well, you better have this figured out, Sal. You'll die in 21 business days, especially you. You gotta make sure you got a plan. You got to have this, you got to that. And I'm thinking, Jesus, Mary and Joseph. It took me 40 years to figure out what I wanted to do in life.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to have this next half? And I call it, my wife and I both call it, we're in the fourth quarter of our life. But the only difference is we got the ball. Yep. So do something, right? Yeah. So I'm telling you, it's okay if you retire and you don't have it really figured out what you want to do. Don't panic. Don't freak out. You're not going to die. You'll be fine.
You'll figure it out.
But you'll figure it out. But just get out there. There's life out there. We were so for the last, whether you work 20, 30, or 40 years or 50 years, you were programmed, you were conditioned that if it was this day, this is what you did. Yeah. This is how you walked, how you talked, what you looked like, and what you ate. That was it. You did what you had to do. Now all that is done. You did it. I remember you telling me when I first retired or was getting close, you said, I'll never forget that because you put it in my head, you said, you did it. You showed me numbers and this and that. And you said, I'm thinking, okay, all right, so now what do I do? It's like no more suits, no more business meeting, no more spreadsheets, no more deadlines, no more. It's like, all that was like gone. It's like, so it's kind of scary.
It is.
But it's refreshing because turn that energy and into something positive because you did what you did, so you are who you are. And there's stuff out there that's waiting for that, whether it's on a volunteer basis or whether you're trying to do something and make some little bit of extra cash on the side. But I'm here to tell you that if you don't have it all figured out, it's okay. Just make sure you're not on the couch with the clicker all day. Just get out there, try things, talk to people. Look into your hobbies, look into habits that you had, good ones, hopefully,
But the best part is that you make that choice.
And it's all about you at that point. You did what you were supposed to do.
Yeah.
So now life is different. And it is, and just in talking about it, it's kind of scary because like I said, you're conditioned for the longest time to be this person or to do what you had to do. No questions asked because you had to do it. Now it's done.
Well, you had structure.
Yeah.
You woke up at this time, you got ready for work, you worked out or whatever you did, you came home, you ate dinner, it was all structure. Right. And then you get to retirement and it's like, whoa, wait a minute, what am I supposed to do? Right. As long as you have the peace of mind and the clarity and the confidence that you've saved enough, now it's just about decisions. Right. I'm going to wake up this morning, we tell the kids all the time, you make hundreds of decisions every day, right? Probably thousands. Pick up the phone. Just to look at Facebook or whatever it is. Right. You wake up, I'm going to be happy, I'm going to be sad. And I tell my kids all the time, you dictate that. You dictate whether you're going to be in a bad mood or not. That's on you. You dictate whether you're going to have a successful retirement or not. You dictate when you're going to retire. You dictate everything. All of these are choices that we make. And man, if you are not having your best retirement, it's because of choices that you've made. And no matter where you're at in life, it could get better, right?
100%.
If we make choices.
Right. And I thought going into this, there'd be certain things like this. I figured, okay, this is what I want to do. When I retire, I'll do this, I'll do that. Everything that I thought of before and what I'm doing now, completely diverse. Yeah. If you would have told me that I'd be serving coffee or making cappuccinos at a hospital, Tim, would you bump your head someplace? Yeah. If you'd have told me too that I would be instructing, and in other words, go back and learn something and take a test and have to pass it. But here I am living the dream.
Well, let me ask you, is that more because it's you have a servant heart, or is that kind of, I like to stay busy and active? Or is it probably a combination of both?
I think it's a combination of both. I really do. But something happens. As you mature in life, and you should be maturing in your faith as well. Yeah. And at some point, those two meet, and it usually meets right around retirement, right? And it kind of sets you up or gives you direction. Your faith kicks in and gives you direction. Then you have a choice to make. Okay, like I said, you're in the fourth quarter. You got the ball. What's the play? What are we doing? Right? And you have to figure that out. But with the help of God, you'll figure it out. And I'm telling you, to live now, that I used to live by the alarm clock. I don't do that no more. I have it next to me. That's a nice thing. It's just there for time. Who even looks at the time? To me, it is what it is. It's just kind of nice that what I used to do, I don't have to do that. And I thought, being me and who I am and my work ethic, I figured, Sal, in 6 to 8 months after retirement, I'm going back. There's no way I'm going to be doing this. I can't be doing this. I don't miss it. I don't want to go back. And that's why when I come for my reviews, it's like, are we still good? Do I have to go back to work? But no, I don't miss it because I'm doing stuff now that just it's filling my heart and my head, if that makes sense.
That's got to be a good feeling.
It is.
That, hey, I don't have to worry about anything. I could just do what I want, when I want to do it, and how I want to do it. I could choose how I'm going to live each day moving forward.
And the thing, too, is I don't care. Yeah. Like, whereas before I used to really care. I never realized how much I cared about what people thought and stuff. And I thought that was such wasted energy. Because what good did that give me? Yeah. It just sometimes put me in a dark spot, right? And I was like, why did I spend energy and time and emotion dealing with that? Now it's like, I don't really care. And I find myself being really protective of my time. So we want to do fun things with fun people. You know what I mean? And people that, those people got a lot of stuff going on, or there are people they kind of talk from both sides of the mouth. It's like they're there and we're fine. But again, fourth quarter, I got the ball. What am I going to do?
And a lot of us don't realize that until later in life.
Exactly.
One of the things when we were building our business, and we got to a point where it was like, hey, who do we want to work with? I don't want to pick up every single person that walks through that door. I want to do business, do life with them, right? And it was so freeing as well as rewarding, not only for myself, but for our team. Because then they had the comfort of knowing that we weren't just going to take any person on, someone who might have been a pain in the butt,
right,
or a drag to the company just because they had a certain dollar amount. And we'll take on the person who is just starting out as well, because I got into this business to really help people out, put an impact, have an impact on their life, better their situation. So whether it's someone who's just starting out that some other firm might not have taken, I look at that and I say, wow, can we really have an impact on this person? Can we really set them up for success? Then let's do that. Let's go all in on it. And the team's all in on that. And then on the other side, like, hey, someone walks through the door and they might be the perfect client for someone else because they've got a certain dollar threshold. And then we look at it and we say, yeah, but they just don't fit our culture.
Right.
And to them, I think that means a lot, because now the team buys in that they have ownership involved, and we all believe the same thing. We're here to help people out, but we have a great culture in the office and a great culture with our family, what we call our swag family, you guys, right? And that's what's enjoying to me, very rewarding, is that we get to not only help people retire, but we get to enjoy life with that person as well. Otherwise, I don't think we could really help you out, because if we don't get to know you on a personal level, how can I really push you into spending your money or enjoying life to the fullest?
You know what? And I'm going to back up what you're saying. And he's a real deal. I'm telling you, because when I first came to you, both Fran and I we came for our initial meeting. First of all, I was impressed. You had our name on a board, and you had these coffee cakes or dessert or something for us to take home. I was like, we didn't bring them anything, and we're leaving with a gift, right? So the weight in my head is to my heart, I guess, or my stomach. But anyways, we get into the meeting, and we started, and I brought whatever I brought, and you very clearly and very diplomatically, you said, so I don't know if I can help you. I go, but we'll go through this. I may be a fit, or you might not be a fit for you. And I was thinking, because speaking open here and honest, Before I came to you, I talked to 2 or 3 other people because there was all these in the government. They always had people that, so I used to go to these seminars. I'd go to these luncheons that people go to, which you should, and educate yourself. But when I came to you, Tim, in one of our first meetings, you weren't really sure if you wanted us. And I left there and I go, babe, I don't think he wants us. And she goes, well, no. She goes, this is different from all the other ones. The other ones, when we were done, they're like, okay, so what do you think? Are we in? And off we go and sign. And that's when I okay, hang on a second. Let me just catch my breath and let me just think about it on the way home and I'll call you back. And I never called those people back. But I left your place thinking, I don't think we're getting a second date. I go, I don't think this is going to work. And she goes, well, why do you say that? I go, because he must have said it 2 or 3 times. He says, we're going to let me just crunch some numbers and we're going to come back and do a follow-up and we'll see if I can help you. And my first thing was like, well, what do you mean? You don't want us? I mean, I don't have, hundreds of millions of dollars, but I have something, something's better than nothing. And sure as all heck, we came back and you presented this spreadsheet, this portfolio, and again, more desserts to take home. And then you said, yeah, I think we can help you. So I go, I think we're going to be okay here, But that time, and I remember going back to work, telling people, because there was a group of us that were on that cusp of retirement. Mm-hmm. And I said, yeah, I don't know. I'm talking to this guy right now, but I don't think he wants me. Like, Sal, what are you talking about? I go, he didn't want my business. He said he's going to think about it. I go, can you imagine? He's got to think about it. I'm the one with the money and he's going to think about it. But it just made sense as I got to know you and Swag and your team. Mm-hmm. To me, you guys are the real deal. You guys are genuine. You guys are family. And yeah, whenever we come here, like I said, I'm greeted with not just me, and I heard it from all the other Swag members too. Yeah. Your staff just comes out, and if nothing else, to say hello. So it's not like they're spending time with us, but they're just coming out and just recognizing us and saying hello. And to me, that's everything, And I always feel bad I'm pulling you guys from your jobs. That's why it's like, no, you guys don't have to come out. And it's not just me. Yeah. The last dinner that when we were all together for dinner, that came from everybody. Everyone said the same thing. So you're not doing this for me and my wife. You're doing it for everybody. You are consistent. You truly do. You bring a lot to the table. You got a team that believes in you and follows you. You got a great team, and we do. You're doing it for all the right reasons.
Yeah, I just look at it as like, who do we want to spend our life with, moving forward? And it's people like yourself, and we can't bring the wrong apple in, because then when you start to mingle and meet some of the other people, you start wondering too, like, who do they have here? And one of the great things was recently, speaking of getting together, one of our other clients, Patty and Dave, they put on a little dinner. Mm-hmm. And there was about, I think 10 other couples that showed up, all clients, which is kind of neat, because you guys have all met each other through pickleball and different other client experiences. Yep. And you had a chance to do a class on limoncello.
Yes.
Which Sal makes the best limoncello. Probably better than the places in Italy itself.
Enzo, we got to give it. Next time we do, I got to hook you up, Enzo. Nothing for nothing, but it is. Yes. I'm really.
It is really good.
I think it's good. I don't think I know. But
matter of fact, you actually did a video here in our office. On how to teach how to make limoncello.
Yes. Yeah, and that was awesome, and it was great when we did it with the group, because I think that really, it's. Just being there that night, it was very comfortable. And everybody, I just felt like I knew everybody. And I'll be dead honest with you. A lot of those people there, I kind of forgot their first names. Forget the last names, right? Sure. I was just talking to people and I was like, but it was very comfortable, very easy. Yeah. In fact, there's some people, some of the clients here, they've come to my exercise class too. So I'm telling you, you've really have brought us together.
Not a typical financial firm.
No. And whenever we do stuff, my friend's like, oh, is that with your, I go, yep, it is. It's like, oh, good for you, Sal. It's like, I don't know what to tell you.
That's pretty neat. I still have to get out to your exercise class.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I think that we share in common is just, that's our therapy.
It is
just getting up and working out and staying fit, and that's just a stress reliever itself.
It's helped me through my darkest times at work, just to being able to get up early and just to run or work out, so when I was done, I had a clear head. And at that point, I figured, I got this day. Nothing's going to get past me in the morning. 4 or 5 o'clock, absolutely. It might, but at least not in the morning.
Not in the morning. No, Julie always says that too. It's like, she's the same way. But if I don't go, like this morning, I think I was up I got up around 4 and was heading out the door about like 4:30 to head to the gym. And if I don't get up at that time, it's like if I work out at like 10, it's just not the same.
No.
Not the same.
I got to hit it early in the morning because that starts my day.
Yeah.
And I can't, like a lot of people will work out in the evening, which is fine, whatever you get used to, whatever you want to do. But for me, it really gets me going. And believe me, I have a lot of energy. The last thing I need is to recharge at 8, 9 o'clock at night when I want to go to bed, because then I'm up tossing and turning and cutting out paper dolls, for no stupid reason, right? I can't sleep. So I need that, move that around. For me, what works for me is early in the morning, because I'm my sharpest probably as the day goes on.
How many years did you say you and Fran have been together?
37.
37. So to me and Enzo in this room and everyone listening, and Enzo is dating right now.
Yep.
But I've been married for a little while. What would you say has kept you guys together for 37 years? What kind of marriage advice would you give us?
So another great question. I'd love to see that sheet there with the questions on there, but those are good
These
questions.
aren't even actually on
Really?
here, but I told you.
I didn't see you look down. That was awesome. But no, I would say the number one thing is respect. Yeah. Just respect each other. If you just give each other, when you get married or you get together because of love, right? Yeah. But as life goes on, life's going to throw you challenges. It's going to throw you good. It's going to throw you bad. And when you say to each other that day you get married that you promise yourself to each other for the rest of your life in good, bad, and whatever your vows are, that's just that. And that comes into play. You say that. It's very mechanical when you say it that day. But as you go through your life, then you're going to use that because stuff is going to happen. And ultimately, as you go through life, you're not the same person you were when you got married.
No,
I know I'm not.
Yeah.
I know my wife isn't, right? So, and that's how I think sometimes people get into trouble, or they fall out of love, if you will, or they kind of lost it, or it's just where we at type of thing. And I just think that your love is there, your love, and sometimes your love gets pushed down because of competing interest. But I think if you communicate and you just respect each other and show that, then that'll help you just get through some of the darker points or the harder points in life.
And it's got to be hard raising 3 kids and now having 9 soon-to-be grandkids. Yeah. Life just gets in the way sometimes. So how do you guys stay connected?
So interesting enough, like, a lot of people do a date night type of thing. We just like have fun with each other. We now realize, actually it's happened since we retired, that we realize that we have some of the same common interests. We like to hang out with people. We like to, I guess I looked at her differently before retirement, that, we had to make sure we went to this restaurant, hung out with these people, lived a certain life and did that. But you don't, and we don't want that. And it's just, we're not about that anymore. And it's comforting and it's comfortable and it's easy. We enjoy, like, sometimes we watched a movie last night. It was a series. We ended up watching 4 or 5 episodes. Yeah. And she was like,
what was it?
A Night Agent.
Okay.
It's good. The new series is out.
Yeah.
And very, very good. And I was like, hey, are you okay with this? Or did you want to do? She goes, no, I think this is great. And it's like, wow, this is so easy. The weather wasn't the best last night. Yeah. And it was just nice. We were in our home, had our fireplace on, and, the kids were doing their thing. So it was perfect. And that comes back.
Yeah, you just got a chance to reconnect. Yeah. Who picks out better movies or shows, you or Fran?
I don't know. I think she does. I try to go for stuff that I think, and then I'm watching and thinking, Sal, what were you thinking?
I know.
What is this?
I usually just let Julie pick.
Yeah, I go, just pick it. And sometimes we spend a lot of the time, this one or that one. And then for me, you give me 2 or 3 choices, I'm confused. Now I'm like, wait, go back to that one. What was that other one? And we spent 40 minutes just trying to, I figured, it's almost 9 o'clock and we still got to get a movie.
I know.
It's like, when are we going to go to bed? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, just pick it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's
I always say you pick it. That way, if it's bad, I don't rub it in. I just say, it was all right,
Right.
But
you're not going to, right.
Well, I get in a doghouse quite a bit. So sometimes just because I can't say it.
Right.
I don't know. But
it's funny.
We just love, Fran. She's awesome.
She's a great person. I've never met in my entire life a nicer person than my wife. I thought I was nice. she makes me look rude. She makes me look, I was like, Fran, man, you give me a run for my money. But she's just a Karen. Her heart is bigger than her whole body. And she's always a pleaser. She always wants to do for other people, you know. And I think sometimes she forgets about herself. In fact, I know she does. And her family too. Sometimes I think she just puts herself so out there to make it better for everybody else. And, you know, life is interesting because we have some really close friends that appreciate that, but they give it back to her. Then you have some people too that just, I don't know if they take advantage of it or they just, they like that. Everybody likes a piece of that, right? But it should be reciprocal, if that makes sense.
Does anyone, and I know Fran's heart, so I know she is 100% real. But, and I'll use this because I'll use Julie. So a lot of times people ask me, like, is Julie who she seems to be? Because she's got a big heart and she's always doing for others. And she's always like thinking of someone else before herself. And some people will say, you know what, she's not who I thought she was, because I thought it was for show at first. And then after I had a chance to meet Julie, this is what people will say to me is like, I realize she's 100% genuine. But that's just the way she is. So is that like, how do people see Fran that way? Like ask you, like, is she really, you know, truly that caring that she is, or they just know her?
Some people who are just meeting her will ask, is she always like, yeah, she is, you know, and people who know her is like, she's just,
that's
just
Fran.
very, very special. And, you know, my wife just had a situation the last couple of months. She broke her knee and just the well wishes and the amount of support that's come in for her has just been, and I tell her, I says, you know, honey, to me, these are like progress reports or report cards in your life. This is, you know, the people that are reaching out to you and who brought dinners, and you and your wife, which is beautiful. You guys brought soup and just the cards and everything and just the phone calls. But it's times like that kind of make you check yourself to see just who you are in this life and what you report. And I tell it to my kids. Absolutely. It's like stuff when you're in your darkest point, who reaches out. And interesting enough, the people that you think are going to be there, you know, I know everyone's busy. Thank God that word busy is in our life so we can all use it. But it's just interesting when stuff happens, who steps up and who shows up, right? You know, and then I tell my kids too, I tell them that as an analogy, and I says, like, just remember that. And I also say too, is when your kids are older and then you see people in public and they say to you, God, I saw your son the other day. What a great guy. He came up and shook my hand. That's a report card of me and you.
Absolutely,
You know, so I tell them that. I go, so while you guys are raising your kids, remember that, you know, and
that means a lot, doesn't it?
Oh my, it's huge, because at that point, when they're saying, I just saw your kids, and the minute they say, I hold my breath, like, okay, here we go. What'd they do? Who'd they piss off? What did he say? And they're like, no, he goes, they were really nice. They were friendly. They were telling me. Then I don't hear nothing after that. I just go into like this bubble bath. It's like, oh, thank you, Jesus.
We did something right.
We did something good.
And they did something right.
Exactly. You guys are on. And I'll go back and I'll tell them when I talk to them or see them, hey, I saw so-and-so last night. And they were really happy that you came up and you said hello and whatever. And they're like, well, what'd they say? It's like, I don't really remember because I kind of checked out. I went into my own little like, okay, Sal, you did it. God bless you. You know, this is awesome. You know, and then they're still talking. It's like,
that's how we feel here too when we start talking to people like yourself, our clients or people that we have relationships with, and they start talking about our team. It's like that happy father moment comes out, and I'm like, yes, our team. You know, and that's what we're so proud of. Our team is the way they treat people like yourself. You know, they understand they're here for a reason. You know, they're on a mission. They're on a mission to help them live your best life. So I'm very proud of that. But let's say we're sitting, or not say sitting, you know, having a cocktail on the beach. You guys are about to go to Florida for a little R&R, you know. But when we really sit back and think about like our legacy, what do you want your grandkids to say about you? Like what would be meaningful? You're sitting down and going, wow, I did everything that I wanted to accomplish. But it's coming from the grandkids.
Yeah, I hope that I was able to make have a good rapport and relationship with each and every one of them that they'll remember me by, you know. And I want them to remember me for the person that I was, the father I was, the grandfather, nonno, as we say in Italian, the nonno that I was, and the person that I was to them. And I try to, for each and every one of them, try to specialize and have something different from the other ones. So it's just like, this is what I got with this person. This is what I have. So, and I kind of build on that. And I only hope that they'll remember that and they'll cherish that. And I tell my kids too, like my son came over last night and I told him this before they left. I said, by you coming and seeing us and bringing your kids will remember that.
Yes.
And like I did with you guys, when we went to go see my in-laws or go see my parents, we've instilled that in you. When you guys come in, whatever you do for us, your kids are going to see that. Yeah. There's no guarantee that you're going to get it back. Yeah. There's no guarantees in life.
But you're leading by example.
And chances are that they will come and see you or they'll call you type of thing, right? So there's no guarantees in life. You can do everything textbook. You can do everything you can do everything the way you want. And for some reason or another, that lasagna just doesn't turn out for whatever the stupid reason, right? Yeah. But lead by example is probably the best way. So I just hope my grandkids really had a good idea of who I was and what I meant to them and to our family, what I tried to do while I was here.
I'm sure that's going to happen because you and Fran have done an amazing job with your kids and your grandkids, and your heart is there. You're genuine, and family obviously is, so meaningful to you guys. Everything's about family, and that's the only ones that are there. Like you said, you don't know who's going to show up in those dark times, but we know if we do it the right way, our family will, and that's what we could always count on.
Right.
I'm sure they're already looking at you that way, and that's how they'll remember you.
You want to know something too, buddy? You realize it later when in the fourth quarter, having the ball, as I want to keep saying, because when you're in that work mode, you're just providing, you're just doing what you got to do. So you never stop to say, hey, how are we doing? How much do we have? Where are we at? You're out there just hitting it hard. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. Now you're at a point where it's like, it's done. That piece is done. And it's like, well, how did I do? Yep. Where are we at? And now I just am blessed because of my kids and my grandkids and my wife. I still have my mom and my puppy. So there's nothing I need, honestly.
Well, you told me a great story about your mom. We'll have to get that next time. A couple of good stories about your mom, and I know we're going to have you back on the podcast because I want to get Fran on here when she's feeling better too. But we have so many stories that we could keep going, but we're getting up to it right now on the time. I want to ask you one final thing. So we start talking about the LYBL, Live Your Best Life. Mm-hmm. What does that mean to you?
And you know what? Prior to us coming to Swag, I would never that never entered in my lobe, but it's front and center, and it's like a priority for me now. Because when I see that, I see you and I see your wife. And I see what you've instilled in me. So like right now, living my best life, not only, like I said, I use it in my exercise class, right? And people ask me, how am I doing? I says, good, I'm just trying to live my best life. And I find like I use it as a verb, a noun, and adjective now. It becomes common knowledge, right? And it's because of Swag that's common. But what does it mean to me? It means everything to me because I'm at a point now where I need to live my best life. I should be living I'm healthy, I'm strong, I'm good. The bases are covered for the most part, right? So there's no reason why I shouldn't be working towards living my best life. Life is out there. The world is out there.
Yeah, just got to seize it.
Exactly.
Well, Sal, I appreciate you being on the podcast today, and I know we'll have you back on again because we've got many stories to go over, and I'm sure would be great for the listeners to hear, especially a story, like I said, on your last trip to Italy. We didn't even get into that.
I know.
Before we get off, how many times have you been to Italy?
I've been a lot because when I was with the airlines, part of my career, I was an onboard manager. So I used to fly to Rome and Milan weekly, and I'd fly to Asia too. So and that in itself is, you talk about stories, man, I got more stories than Disney.
Yeah.
Forget about it. But it was, I've been to Italy, over 20, 30 times.
Wow.
And it's just a remarkable place for anyone who's been to Italy, not because I'm Italian, it helps, but it's beautiful people, beautiful food. I love the culture. I love the way they live. They live it right. Yeah. We missed a step here in the States. We really did.
Too fast paced. Tell me, I believe your dad or your grandfather has a street named after him?
Yeah. So my grandfather has a street, Sal Badalamenti, and it's funny because like when my daughter went, she actually remembers that as a kid. So when she went, she took a picture of herself and her kids under the sign. My son did the same thing. Yeah. And then we just went last year, me and my brother, and with our wives, and we did it. We were driving home. We were going back to our Airbnb, and I said, let's go stop by, No New Street. And we got out of the car, and he's like, what are we doing? It's like, look up. And we saw the sign, and we took a picture. So
wow.
And again, I guess where I'm at in my life, it just resonates so much more to me now. It means so much more to me now. And I think that's, you're maturing in your life, and you're maturing in your faith.
I think it does. It means more at the end of life than it does at the beginning.
Fourth quarter, I got the ball.
Yeah, and if anyone needs a travel agent or someone to tell you more about Italy and the places to go to be able to enjoy it to the fullest, reach out to Sal for sure.
I'd love to help anybody.
Reach our office, and we'll get you in contact with Sal.
I enjoy that. That's a passion that I have for that.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you guys have enjoyed this podcast, and we'll have Sal back on again, I'm sure, in a few months, because we have a lot more stories. I just wanted to kind of introduce you to Sal and hear some of the stories today. So I thank you for being on. We love you and Fran.
Thank you.
We think a lot of you guys, and we look up to you guys, and what you guys are doing with your kids and your grandkids is amazing. And these are things that me and Julie want to, emulate is some of the things that you guys are doing with them. So we hope to be, the parents and the grandparents that you guys are one day.
Will. You'll be better than us.
Well, we appreciate you. And thank you guys for listening to this podcast. And tune in next week to hear our next episode. So thank you guys for being with us.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Tim, for this time.
Yes.
Thanks for tuning in. If this episode sparked something in you or made you realize it's time to stop guessing and start planning, we'd love to meet with you. No matter where you are, no matter when you start, you deserve to live your best life. We'd love for you to like, subscribe, and share this podcast with your friends and your family. Remember, living your best life isn't a destination, it's a decision. And it's a decision that you get to choose. Until next time, stay well, stay informed, and keep living boldly.
Investment advisory services offered through Strategic Wealth Advisors Group, Incorporated, a Securities and Exchange Commission registered investment advisor. Content contained herein is for informational purpose only and is not intended and should not be construed as personalized investment advice or an offer for the purchase or sale of any security, insurance, or other investment product. Investments involve the risk of loss, including possible loss of principal. Please consult with a qualified financial, tax, accounting, or legal professional before implementing any ideas or strategies discussed here. Content provided may be obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but cannot be guaranteed as to its accuracy or completeness.